for you to be able to go from just being good to great, you have to you have to own your emotions. Everything I've said here is not an emotional thing. They're decisions, they're well thought through decisions that we've made, right? If you're going to go from good to great, you need to be in control of your emotions. You're not one that is that your emotions have a control of you. You're not one that is unpredictable, that can easily just boil in 1 second, but you have everything under control. You're not going to be great. You're not going to go from good to great if you can't control your emotions. And that comes from different aspects, whether you're working for some company or you're working for yourself. To go from good to great, to perform highly, you have to be in control of your emotions, right? You have to use your emotion, not allow your emotions use you, especially when things are out of control, and what that statement I got here was actually put together by someone who was teaching a few people a particular trade, and was trying to find out which of them he can trust to perform at a high level, and he saw that it was those that have control over their emotions, when things were going haywire in the business they were doing, right? It is not as much as what a person knows, right? It's not as much as what a person knows. It's not as much as what a person knows, but about the person's emotional intelligence. That's what differentiates people out there in the workplace, in the marketplace as well, right? Customers want people they can trust, people they can rely on, and that boils back also to character. That takes us to and this comes from that book also. I believe the title of the book is Rare Find. I don't know if I can get the title from the book here. Probably not the most important thing to look at. Talent that whispers. All right. The title of the book is The Rare Find by George Anders. He talked about two different types of talent, the one that shouts and the one that whispers, right? The talent that shouts is, you see someone and just already know what the person can do or not do. You see another person, you're not too sure what the person can do or not do. That person has not evolved. He has not evolved or has not fully evolved by the time you meet the person, and for talent hunters, interviewers, that becomes a challenge. They are tempted to easily pick the ones that their ability is shouted, and miss out the one that is not fully evolved. Because more often than not, the one that is not fully evolved, more of them become high performance than the ones that are shouting at you, because like we say, not all that glitters is gold, right? There are attributes of high performance that sit around character, and typically when more often than not, when the talent is shouting, the person that's holding it probably is and you'll see the example talking about the level 5 leaders that James C. Collins tells us about in his book, Good to Great, and also talks about, when you look at it from performance also, sometimes, and that's the problem with people that are intelligent, and sorry to say, call it boasting or not, I am one. And that's one of the biggest hurdles for me in high performance, right? Uh, because I'm intelligent, it comes with a bit of big cockiness, and that can stand in the way of you performing at a high level. It's taken years for me to get a hold of myself, you know. Uh, but your intelligence could stand in your way because you could think you know everything, you know. Don't forget again, I grew up as a perfectionist, right? I'm a recovering perfectionist. So sometimes my knowledge, my intelligence gets in the way of my performance, right? But but I'm a more matured person today, so I know my weaknesses and I'm guarding against them. but those are things that have hurt me, right, in years past, right? So just looking in this line with what George Anders says in his book, The Rare Find, talents which shout, they're are fairly obvious, performers, but typically they could have character flaws that could be in their way. Not all of them, but it's a potential, showstopper. But there's also talent which whispers. The good thing about this is the humility that comes with it. These are people that want to grow. They don't seemingly have all the accolades to grow. They have not been seen as high performers, but they are willing to grow. And it's important not to miss those, because even though they have not fully evolved, your big high performers high flyers, are mainly come in this group. They might not necessarily be as intelligent as every other person, but they are teachable. Yes, that's probably the biggest difference and quality they have. They are teachable.